Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Brittany and on this channel we talk all about plants. And today I wanted to take the time to combine these two Maranta plants into one large Maranta pot. And so I figure while we do that, we'll talk a little bit about Maranta care. So if you are interested in plants and Marantas, stick around and let's talk how to care for Marantas. So it is a gloomy day here in Wyoming. We are currently in a thunderstorm watch. They are expecting large hail, maybe some tornadoes. So I figured I would just sit inside, do a little bit of work. I do have these two lemon lime Marantas, otherwise known as prayer plants. And I have to because I just love them so much. I think that their leaves are so beautiful with this differing green color. I just think that they're so cool, but I thought it would look really nice in a larger pot together. So that is what we're gonna do today. Both of these pots are about 3 to 4 inches, and you can tell the actual plants in here are quite large. So I think that I'm gonna go up to a 6-inch pot today for the both of them, and we'll see how that looks. So let me get my stuff and we will get these guys into this big pot and talk how to water, what kind of light they want, how to propagate, and everything else that everyone has told you are so difficult about Maranta. Alrighty, so we are all set up here. I think the first thing that I'm going to do is add a little bit of this soil into the bottom of this larger pot. And this is just a very semi-chunky soil. It has a little bit of orchid bark, a little bit of perlite in it. But while we're on that, let's talk about the watering needs of the Maranta, because this is the most important part. First things first, the Maranta does not like for its watering to be inconsistent. So the best thing you can do is find what your plant likes and then just be very consistent with that. It does not want to dry out completely. If it does, you will start to have some browning. You can see here, and some crisping on the leaves. So I don't want this to be a super chunky soil because I do want a little bit of moisture retention. And then when you are watering, you're wanting to check the soil prior, because if it's getting too much water, that's when you can also have issues with leaf loss, discoloration, and then ultimate the demise of your plant. So it's hard to say you should water your plant this often because there are a lot of factors that play into what your plant's needs will be. This can include the size of the pot and the root ball within that pot. If there are more roots, you will need more water. This can also depend on the heat and the humidity in your house, the density of the soil. So if you have a chunkier mix, the water is going to run through it quicker than if you have a denser soil mix. I'm putting this into a plastic pot, which tends to retain more moisture than like a terracotta pot. So I will need to water this a little bit less often than if I was using terracotta, which wicks away that moisture. So there are a lot of factors at play here in terms of the needs of the plant that you have specifically. If it is not being watered consistently or in the way that it likes, you will know fairly quickly. This guy is not shy about telling you what he wants. There's that root ball for this one. So you'll see, like I said, browning of the leaves, crisping of the leaves, and then ultimately the dying off of the leaves. usually is a telltale sign that your watering schedule is not exactly what this plant wants. So I just pulled, the first plant was in a soil mix that I had made. The second one is in the mix that the plant had come in, and actually I don't want to put that in there. It's significantly denser, and so it's retaining more moisture. So I just need to keep that in mind as I water this. It's used to the roots holding on to the moisture that's in the soil. So I will keep that in mind as I begin to water this for the first couple of weeks. There we go. So we have both of those little babies out of their pots. I am just going to place this into, actually, the pot and see, you know, what this looks like and the shaping of the leaves. Oh yeah, that fits great. You want your pot itself to be about 2 inches, 1 to 2 sizes larger than the root ball itself. That way it has some room to grow, but it's not just like swimming in that soil. It has the opportunity to dry out. So that is exactly what we have here with this 6-inch pot. And then I'm just backfilling this. And then we will see what this looks like. I'll show you where it's gonna live. And then we'll talk about the needs of this plant in terms of sunlight. How pretty. Oh, it's gonna look so cool. Okay, there is that. Does that not look so stinking good all together? So this is going to be living back here on my plant shelf, and I do have grow lights on this shelf. Lucky for me, the Maranta is pretty easygoing about light. It is one that if you acclimate it correctly, it can live in a lower light situation all the way up to a bright indirect light. The only thing that I would definitely suggest is avoiding bright direct light. So cool. Which would be like putting it outside in the sun. If you have a nice shady spot under your porch, it will definitely survive out there. But just directly in the sun's rays, the leaves will burn. So you'll see discoloration on the leaves, and you will also get that browning and that crisping that we have talked about prior. Look at that mess. Oh my goodness, I need to clean up. So easy going on the light. They do have delicate little leaves, so just be aware if you're too close to the grow light. If you're indoors, it can also potentially burn. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, if you are growing it inside, which we know that all plants are outdoor plants, that's where they come from, but the Maranta do prefer consistent temperatures. So anywhere between 65 and 80, 85 degrees is totally fine. With that, just like they enjoy water, they do enjoy humidity. So if you have a little bit higher humidity or a humidifier, or you're able to spray the leaves, mist them every so often, it's gonna make this plant really happy. With that, just be careful of fungal issues on the leaves and the soil if you are misting. And then I did want to talk a little bit about fertilizer. This is not a picky plant in terms of fertilizer. I don't believe that it needs any really specific nutrients. I just fertilize it like I do all of my other houseplants, using the fertilizer that I'm using for pretty much everything else. And if it's starting to look like it's doling or not growing as quickly, I might bump that fertilizer just a little bit, specifically in like the growing season when it's really producing a lot of petioles and new growth. So nothing picky, nothing crazy. Do feed it every once in a while, but it's not anything super specific. And then the last thing that I did want to talk about, I have my notes down there, that's why I'm peeking, is the propagation of this plant. It is, if you care for it correctly, a pretty prolific grower. You can see all this new growth. And we just want to propagate it like we propagate most of our other indoor plants. You're going to want to find a node, which is the area that the new leaf grows out of, and then cut below that node. From there, you can just place that into water and the node will grow new roots. So you might want to propagate if you wanted to fill out a pot. If it was looking a little bit sparse, you can propagate and then add that new rooted stem into your pot. Or if you were wanting to make a new plant and have more than one, like me, then you could propagate and then make a new plant. So you can see here, there are nodes where the new leaves grow out of. So that's all you're looking for when you propagate. It should do totally fine in water. Give it some sunshine or under a grow light, and it will eventually root for you. So like I said, as long as you can find the consistency and find what this plant likes and then stick to that, you'll have a happy Maranta. I know people either love them or they just are the bane of their existence. So keep on trying, keep on experimenting. Once you find out it's happy, stick with it. Leave it alone, do what you do, and then don't mess with it anymore. If you guys have found some awesome tricks, tips on Maranta, specifically the lemon lime, let us know down in the comments. We would love to chat about plant care tips. And if you are interested in videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. We do talk all about houseplants and we help each other out because we're all just learning as we go. So I will see you guys in the next video. Please like this video and have a wonderful rest of your day.